Whether you're a seasoned agent who's a total veteran or you're brand new to the business, in today's video, I'm gonna break down why it's so important that you choose the right brokerage and why choosing the wrong one has the potential to make or break your career early on. My name's Nicolle. I'm a top 1% agent here in North America. I'm gonna sell over $60 million worth of houses this year. I've only been in the business 2 years, and I'm going to unbiasedly guide you through how you can choose a brokerage to support you exactly and where you wanna go. Let's jump in. Number one, researching brokerages. Here's the best way for you to go about researching brokerages. Spend time here on YouTube going this brokerage versus this brokerage. Listen to as many different breakdowns as possible. Don't spend weeks and weeks and weeks. Just spend a little bit of time going through those videos, and then most importantly, go meet with people in your local marketplace who run those brokerages, because you're not just choosing a brokerage, you're choosing people to align with. And by sitting down with them, you're gonna get the best idea of who's really gonna support you. Number two is company culture and values. Listen, I think a brokerage is really important in determining values, but I think even more important is if you're gonna decide to join a team, which we'll talk about later, that's where you're gonna get the most out of the values. I think the most important thing when it comes to the company values is making sure you don't choose a brokerage that doesn't align with your value. If you wanna be luxury, don't choose a discount brokerage. If you wanna just sell tons and tons of houses, still probably don't choose a discount brokerage. Choose a brokerage that well represents what your company and your values are going to stand for, or partner with a team whose values you can borrow and lean on. Next up is training and support. The best way for you to get an idea of what you're gonna get from the business is to actually sit down with the people in person and ask them what their training and support is. How many days a week do you have access to coaching calls, script practice, door knocking practice? Like, what are the ways that they're gonna go and train you? And then use YouTube again as a resource to look all that up, ask all those questions. Just know that at the end of the day, no brokerage is gonna give you as much support as you going out and actually joining a team where that team is incentivized to see you succeed in ways that brokerages necessarily aren't, because that team, if you're taking up a seat, wants to know that you're gonna be high producing, and they're probably gonna have more training for you overall than just joining a brokerage. Commission structure and fees. I know this is what everybody's the most concerned about, and while I think it's super important, I actually think that it's more important that when you're new to real estate, or if you're thinking about making the next move, that you understand that it's all about how many houses you're selling. And yes, how much of that you get to keep, but really the main thing, the currency of your job, is to know how to sell more houses and how to get better at what you're doing so that regardless of where you go, you can be successful. When it comes to commission and splits, I intentionally joined EXP because as a cloud-based brokerage, it had the opportunity for me to be able to keep a lot more of my commission through things like the Icon agent program, where if I sell enough houses, I get almost all of that cap that I've paid into the brokerage back in the form of stock. There's various brokerages that offer things like this for you to make sure that you're not gonna just give someone 5% of your business forever on a 95-5 split or a 90-10. But if you need the education and the training, be willing to give up 50-60% of your commission to be on a team that's gonna enable you to sell way more houses. Just remember, the whole commission conversation, at the end of the day, if you get a really tiny pie, but you have all of it, it'd be way better to have a big old slice of pie and a really big pie, even if it means you're giving away more of your commission, but you're selling way more houses. The goal is to increase the size of the pie, increase how many houses you're selling, not just sell a couple houses, but get to keep 100% of it. You wanna have a bigger slice, you wanna sell more houses, go out and join a team. Don't worry too much about the commission. Next up is technology and resources, all the digital marketing. What does your brokerage offer? So spend some time to write out and learn more about the technology companies by going back here to YouTube and doing in-depth dives into those different softwares. But just remember, the best technology is the technology that you're actually gonna use. Make sure that your brokerage or whoever you're joining is offering you technology that isn't overly complicated. I see so many people burn so much time reading into, comparing, talking about the differences with all this technology, and they fail to realize that at the end of the day, that technology isn't necessarily gonna help you sell more houses. It's only gonna help you sell more houses if you very proactively use it and make sure that you're actually updating things like your CRM, having really well-built websites. I'll be truthful. I picked the CRM and I haven't thought twice about it. It does everything that I needed to do. It's helping me sell houses. It's helping me follow up with people. I'm using Follow Up Boss. We've actually got a resource below that you can check out if you give your email. I'm just gonna give you for free all the resources related to what we use for my technology stack. I use Follow Up Boss, I use these different things for calendars, for scheduling, for actually going ahead and booking appointments, and every little piece of technology that we use at the end of the day is meant to be simple and effective. So for you, look at the brokerage, don't get caught up in the hype of these tools that seem like they're just gonna somehow help you do all this business. At the end of the day, they're probably not. The CRMs are ultimately just there for you to keep conversations going and nurture those conversations. The best CRM is the one that you actually use, and the CRM is one of the most powerful tools that you're actually gonna use. So look into that when it comes to which brokerage you're joining. My personal favorite is this one right here, reputation and market presence. Here's why it's my favorite. At the end of the day, just know that if you're leaning on your brokerage as the reputation that you're building, you're thinking way too small. You should be concerned with building your own brand or being a part of a big brand that you can play a big role in helping establish the culture, establish that brand so that long-term, the brand that you're a part of is the one that feeds you leads in your business. If you're relying on your brokerage to feed you leads, they have so many agents that they're gonna give leads to. They've got so many other people that they're gonna engage with. I don't believe consumers are gonna decide to work with you based on the brokerage you're on. I think that's completely misleading. And if any brokerage is telling you people are gonna work with you because you're a part of the Remax or the Sotheby's or whatever, I think that's way out of line. I think at the end of the day, people choose to work with people they know, like, and trust, and brands matter, but increasingly, brands are becoming individuals and teams in the real estate market. And in your local market, I guarantee you if I said, who's the top realtor, you might know which brokerage they're at, but it's not the brokerage that you're focused on. It's the realtor who's built their brand, and they're the ones that have market presence. So choose a brand that has a good enough reputation that you can speak to it and understand that brand, but know that your entire goal is to build your brand, because that's who people are choosing to work with. Let's talk about interviewing current agents and other teams and where you should look when it comes to joining a brokerage. I think the best thing you can do is when you've looked at the different brokerage models, step away from all of that for a minute and look at the agents in your marketplace who are where you want to be and go sit down with them regardless of the brokerage and interview them. One of the smartest things I did when I was just getting started in real estate was sitting down with as many different team leaders as possible and high producing agents and asking them what it would be like if I was on their team. I wanted to know what their value proposition was. How were they gonna sell me on why I should join their team? What technology were they using? How are they gonna help set me up for success? By doing that, it gave me really good perspective on brokerages and how those top performing agents viewed their brokerage, because at the end of the day, it's all relationships. And in this business, you wanna be a part of a brokerage that has great relationships. And if you're gonna join a team, you wanna join a team that has a really good foundation for everything that they're doing. And the only way you're gonna find that out is by actually sitting down with them and interviewing them. Now, last but not least is considering your long-term goals. When you go sit down and you interview brokerages or you interview top teams and top agents, the number one thing you want to understand is 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, how are you going to be set up for success? How are they going to support your long-term goals? When I was thinking about a brokerage, I intentionally wanted to pick a brokerage that was going to allow me to bring other agents in, because I knew that I would do things like create videos like this and create content and be influential online that would attract other agents to say, hey Jake, how did you sell $30 million plus worth of real estate your first year and 60 your second year? Like, how did you do these things? And I wanted to be able to point them toward a brokerage that would check the boxes of everything we've talked about today from my perspective, give them the tools and resources they need, or enable me to be able to provide them those resources just by joining the brokerage. Think about your long-term goals and make sure that you choose a brokerage that aligns with those goals, or you choose a team that aligns with those goals. Now, in conclusion of today, here's how I want to wrap all this up. If you're deciding what brokerage to go with, you've probably already been doing a lot of research. And if you're watching this video and it's your first video, that's awesome, but you definitely have some more homework to do in choosing your brokerage. At this point, here's what I would say is the best thing you can do when deciding about which brokerage to choose. If you're brand new to real estate, don't even worry about it. Literally just go join a team. That should be your number one priority. A team is gonna teach you all the things you don't know that you don't know, and it's gonna enable you to succeed in areas where you have blind spots right now. There's so much that you need to learn. There's so many deals that you'll blow up because you'll approach it the wrong way or not have the backing of the relationships or the expertise needed to close that deal, whereas a team is gonna help you get more deals across the line. They're gonna show you how to run your business. You're gonna learn how to manage a team or how not to manage a team. You've got nothing but opportunities to win by joining a team. If you've already been in the business a long time and you're thinking about your next brokerage or how to pick one, the best thing I can say is make sure that you're picking it based on those long-term goals of where you want to be in the next 5 years. It might be really painful for you today to switch brokerages because you got to change your business cards, change your real estate signs, you got to switch stuff up. I made a decision to change brokerages after just a couple months of being in the business because I ultimately joined a brokerage to follow someone and learn from someone who's a really good friend and still a mentor of mine today. And then that person decided that EXP was the right model a few months later, and we both went there together. I had always wanted to go to that model. I spent a lot of time looking at the different brokerage models, and I think that for me, EXP offered me the opportunity to do everything I wanted to do, from be a high producing agent and get compensated for doing it, all the way over to bringing agents over to the brokerage or joining me or being in my downline, but being able to provide them, more importantly, resources to help them succeed and know that I was invested in their success and only compensated if they succeeded. So for you, choose a brokerage that aligns with those long-term goals. If you're not looking at brokerages right now and you're thinking about just getting started, look at teams as your number one priority. All in all, just remember this: the best brokerage is gonna be the one that's gonna enable you to sell the most houses. That's the only metric that matters. You wanna sell the most houses, you wanna get the most experience, you wanna get into as many sales conversations as possible, as many living rooms and kitchen tables as possible to have conversations. If you're worried primarily about splits, you're missing the forest for the trees. Make sure that you go out there and sell a lot of houses and understand how your brokerage is gonna support you in doing that. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Cheers. All right, guys, drop your questions below. If you enjoyed this video, we're actually gonna be giving away my personal tech stack, exactly what it is that we use here at Nicolle Realty to run our business. I spent a lot of time thinking about how to choose the right tools that were also simple and gonna get adopted very easily by myself and future team members. So all you need to do is click the link. We're gonna give that away to you totally free. Want to provide you some value. And look, if you got some questions, maybe about brokerage models, how to contrast, how to compare them, drop a comment below. I'm gonna answer those questions for you, and I look forward to helping you guys succeed in your real estate journey. There's no reason you can't be selling tons of houses a year, and I wanna help you do that. So feel free to hit subscribe, smash the like button. We'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.